Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we're going to be doing a how-to video on a quick release setup and steering wheel. I had a bit of a problem when I went to the last Club Loose event here in San Antonio at the karting complex, which is a great facility, by the way. With Alamo City closing down, the Club Loose guys kind of banded together and figured out how to get another venue in a short amount of time. So kudos to them. I really do like the track. The tire wear is great, by the way. I mean, a lot of us went with one set of tires, drifted almost all day, and saw about half life still remaining. So that's going to be good. It's about 15 minutes from the shop, right next to the Alamo City Motorplex that is now closed. So everything kind of worked out. But as far as my G goes, this thing right here, I noticed that whenever I was started getting into some pretty heavy tandem and we start driving real hard, every now and again, I would lose the handle on my steering wheel. Now, the majority of it is because I do sit pretty far back, and I will show you here in a second, on a fixed seat bracket. So it's a bit of an extension with my arms, and the short amount of time I had, once I figured out they were actually having an event, I couldn't get all the parts here in time. Mostly the steering wheel. So with that being said, here is my personal G37. It is a 2008 running on UpRev currently. I am going to switch it to EcuTech whenever the supercharger goes on and we start fabbing up the air-to-air kit and everything. So, and I'll probably do a breakdown once I have like the aero on, it's wrapped, and the final revision of the car. But anyhow, let's take a look and see what we're dealing with here. So your standard NRG kit, they make pretty good products. My last wheel was a grip royal wheel. I did like it. I didn't have anything bad to say about it, but I've also had an NRG wheel before as well. Same thing. It's just one's a little bit cheaper than the other, and this is what I can get right away. So first thing you need is a short hub. Okay, now being that I'm running a deep dish wheel, they do have a little bit short hub, or a hub rather, that's a little bit taller. So whatever you want to do, that's on you. I just know that a short hub, quick release, and the deep dish wheel will put the wheel placement exactly where I want it. Okay, so pretty simple deal. Got a black one. I think this is a version 2. I don't really know. There's so many versions of this, but basically the one with the little wing on it. I have big ass hands, so it's tough for me sometimes to release this little ball on the previous version where they don't have this. Still worked well. I had one on my old Z. I just dealt with it just because, that's what I could get. But this time around, I'm going to make it easy for myself. And as far as the wheel goes, everybody should kind of know like what I'm going to do with this. But another wood grain Johnny, okay? Looks good. It's high quality stuff. The wood feels good on the hands. The reason why I like wood grain wheels, they just look cool. I mean, I wear gloves when I drive most of the time. So it keeps like your hand from sticking when they're sweating or whatever the case is. But I just love wood grain wheels. I mean, I don't know if it's just because I'm from Texas, whatever. You make the assumption on that. So here's the car on the interior. Pretty simple aside from, my OMP seat. My kid's cup is in here. I do take them in this thing a few times. You can see like the car seat in the back or whatever. But anyways, OMP WRC-R. It is a big boy seat because I am a big boy, but it's the most cost-effective option in my point when it comes to a seat for a bigger guy, because you don't want to buy like some crappy, cheap, seat that you can use one season and it starts falling apart. So I think I paid $1,100 or something like that with the belts, which I'm not running in the car yet because, like I said, I do take my kids in this every now and again. But probably next month, it's going to start turning into full race car. So I'll put like a bar in there so I can put the harness in, or maybe even a cage if we have time. But anyhow, let's get started. So the hardest part of this, in my opinion, are these security Torx bolts that are underneath this cover here, okay? So let me get this off and then we'll talk more about that here in a second. All right, so this is where a lot of people make a bunch of mistakes. If you get this wrong, you're gonna have a hell of a time trying to get the steering wheel off, okay? So you're going to need, this is what I used, a Torx, I think it's a Torx 27, but it has to have this little, I don't know if you can see it, it has to have that little hole in the middle. That's what we call a tamper-proof bolt. You know, I don't know if that's even the real term, but that's what I call them. Do not use your damn impact, okay, guys? Like, don't use an impact. That's the most ridiculous thing you can do for these bolts, okay? I have cool little tools because I've just been in the game for a while, but you just need that bit. Some of them have them on like an actual screwdriver body or whatever you want to call it. So use that, or if you can get a bit with the 3/8 on it, whatever. But do not use an impact, okay? You don't need to. So this is the Johnny we need to get out right there, okay? There's one on this side, there's one on the opposite side. So I'm gonna get these off and then we'll go to the next step. All right, so I got them off. Thankfully, nothing went wrong. Also, side note, make sure you disconnect the negative cable, okay? I didn't really specify on that because it's kind of common sense. If you don't want to die, pull the power, because the airbag can always shoot off if you're kind of messing with it, and who knows, okay? You'll have a real bad day. But anyhow, check out this crusty ass thing right here. Now, a lot of people don't know this, but I bought this car for, I think, $5 grand. I don't really remember. It was real cheap, but it had a, let me see. Oh wait, do I even have my key in here? Oh, the power's off. I'm an idiot. Anyways, it has about 250,000 miles on the clock. So I bought this thing full well knowing I'm gonna destroy the shit out of this car, okay? So be mindful if you're gonna get into drifting and you plan to compete, tandem, always be willing to lose the car, because if you're not ready for that, then this is not the place for you, okay? I've seen so many people go into debt, lose relationships, I mean, all of it, because you're just not prepared, okay? So be prepared. If you're not ready, then do single runs, learn how to drive until you really start getting into this, okay? Anyhow, here are the bolts. Got them off, nice and clean. The biggest issue is sometimes this Loctite is not so nice, okay? So that's why I say don't use an impact, because if you wail on it and it's not budging, you're just gonna tear up all, you know, the metal in there, and then there's you're gonna have to cut all this off. And I've had a few people do it, and yeah, don't let me make fun of you, because I will. But anyways, airbags out, okay? Very simple deal. Get yourself a nice little pick tool, Harbor Freight, you know, these guys are great. You're gonna go ahead, it's gonna be kind of tough, but you're gonna get underneath this little, goddamn, this is gonna be tough. You're gonna get under this little black retainer here and pop it up just like that. It doesn't take much, you just gotta make sure you get under there, like, yeah. Oh wait, I'm not even looking at it. Look, man, I'm not a professional, all right? I'm just trying to show you guys. All right, I got it off. Okay, so simple deal here. This goes to your steering angle sensor, or actually, well, in this one, in case it's both. So it's actually your clock spring, which handles feeding power to your airbag in case you have a crash event. Steering wheel controls, you know, it's this little harness here that goes in there. Yeah, kind of important, I think. But anyhow, 19 millimeters nut is all you need. On this one, you can use an impact, okay? Taking it off and put it back on, impact this bad boy, because you don't want your wheel to fall off. Might be kind of fun, but not really. So let me grab that, we'll get that off, and then we'll proceed. All right, 19. All right, that was pretty simple. I didn't think that was gonna be that easy. Then you're gonna wiggle this thing just like that. Shit, don't forget to take this off. All right, brothers, we got it off. Now, the main thing about this, when you have this off, okay, obviously the steering wheel was somewhat straight. Now, if you look at mine, you can see how the indication is a little bit between 12 and 1 o'clock. The reason being is my steering gear is actually centered because I have an aftermarket angle kit on here. And I like it to be even side to side. So most of the time on street cars, stock cars, whatever you guys have, you're gonna line up the hub with this line. But for me, I'm gonna clock it a little bit differently so I can get my wheel to straighten up on this end because my alignment's already done and good to go. So let me grab the hub and then we'll get that installed. Geez, it got messy in here real quick. Okay, so you're gonna open up your hub package and you're gonna get this connector that has one single black wire. That is your grounding switch for the horn, okay? Connect your horns, please, because you never know when you're gonna need it. So goes right up in here, click, click. It's gonna tail end with these airbag harnesses, and I'm gonna show you how I route them so they just don't get in the way. All right, so, so I'm not gonna try to hold it and put this on because it's gonna be messy, so give me a second. All right, so I got it somewhat on there. The harnesses are routed through this little hole right here. Now, remember what I was saying about lining this up. Now, right here, I don't know if you can see. Let me see. Okay, right here, this is about perfect for me, okay? Now, majority of you guys that have stock cars that are okay and nothing's been modified, you're gonna put the little dot, see the dot right there? Lined up with that. And it literally slides on, okay? But for me, I'm gonna clock mine to the left slightly. Boom, like that, okay? So then you put your 19 back on here. Just like that. Get your trusty impact. And yam it, okay? Doesn't have to be crazy, just make sure it's not loose. That's good enough for me, okay? Now we're gonna go ahead and finish the installation. We're gonna put the first portion of the quick release on. You don't have to Loctite these. Some people do. I don't think I'm gonna Loctite it just because, yeah, forget all that. Also, as far as the airbag wiring goes, just stuff them in there like this. They don't have to do anything. You just got to get them out the way. The only one that you're gonna need to pass through is this one, okay? So just leave this in here. It shouldn't make any noise because everything's pretty stationary right here. It's just gonna be underneath that little hub, okay? So let me get that installed and then we'll move forward. All right, so the short hub is on. Just remember to use the grounding ring behind it. You can kind of see the trim of it here. Basically, there's a male and a female end underneath here, okay? The black wire that comes from the actual clock spring is gonna go to a yellow wire that's here. There's only one way you can connect it, right? So male to female. And then there's another one in there that goes straight to the grounding, I don't know what you call this, a grounding ring or whatever. So yeah, that worked out really well. So now we're going to assemble the actual steering wheel to the quick release, okay? Now, mind you, everything has an index mark, okay? So just follow that, you know, 12 o'clock, okay? And your wheel will be straight, guaranteed, okay? So let me get this assembled, then we'll get it on the car. All right, so, whoops, sorry. I got everything assembled, finally. When it comes to the NRG stuff, it's pretty self-explanatory. I mean, just follow the indicators. Don't use any impacts. Follow the wiring diagrams. Everybody's is different, but anyhow, let's put this Johnny on. Boom, look at that. Wow. It is actually not bad either, like where it's placed. Let me raise it up. Yeah, we got that telescoping stuff going on. Yeah, so prior, I was having to reach probably around here with the stock wheel. And you know that although they may not seem like a big deal, when you're driving, you know, aggressively and you're doing weird stuff and you're trying to like get close to somebody, the last problem you want to have is losing the damn steering wheel. I mean, if you lose the steering wheel and there's people behind you, it's a wrap. Like you're gonna mess some things up. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm gonna be doing a lot more of these type of videos on certain things, and as we progress, I'll get to the real difficult stuff like gallery gaskets and how to time a VQ correctly, maybe even assembling a bottom end, you know, who knows. But please like, share, and subscribe. Let me know that you guys like to watch this stuff. Tell me what I need to change. We're all learning here, okay? So thank you guys for checking it out, and we'll talk soon. Have a good one.